What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again with another video. As you guys can see by the title, yesterday they fully announced the Redemption 2 card, all the battles on it, and with it only being 2 weeks out, I figured we can go right into the predictions for it. Definitely a decent card on paper. I did a flashback review for TTop and Shotgun Shug for my last video for those of y'all that check that out. So we did a little bit of, going back, looking at the first Redemption event. And we come here, I think this one probably is a little bit better on paper. Just more matchups at the time that are more valuable, more top-tier names involved. And overall, I think it's going to be a decent card. Couple rebooks, couple new matches, bunch of different battle rap to talk about. So without further ado, let's get right into the predictions. So, starting off at the bottom of the card, we do have Swamp versus Kitchen Clean, Clean Paper. Dope matchup. Obviously, when Clean came over, this is one of those first matches that he one of the big matches that he wanted, saying that Swamp is like a mini him, and they do share some similarities in style, more emphasis on their drawl and accent, kind of their entertainment, and not always the bar for bar content wise. Although I think that Swamp does do a little bit more, a lot of bit more content wise than Clean. Neither of them are like super punchy battle rappers though. A mixture of real talk, jokes, just straight disrespect. Pretty all around battlers. You look at both of them had good 2022s. Obviously, Swamp had a terrific, possible champion of the year winning 2022. Still yet to be determined, and one could argue that Clean could make that 20 list, but obviously did not battle to the same level Swamp did, competition, material-wise, stage-wise, but it's still not a bad matchup to book. If Clean's going to do good with his opportunities he's given with stumbles and ease and on, kind of on the come up, if he keeps doing good, eventually you have to give him bigger plate. So he gets the ace battle, which, like I said, I have not seen it on other videos that I have not seen. Obviously, the outside battles that just happened, I heard he did lose to ace, but I'm sure, obviously, this was booked beforehand. And it's a little bit more of a favorable matchup. I think if you put Clean in front of a Pen, the difference in content shows a lot because Clean isn't really one of those Pen type of guys, and he doesn't really produce tons of one-liner haymakers, right? It's a lot of slow build-ups, a lot of comedy, other parts of battle rap to appreciate. And for me, I've seen Swamp go against the likes of Rock, Rum Nitty, Fonz, and win those battles by producing tons of haymakers, usually through the lane of real talk, but his pen does have enough. I think he has a solid pen. I think there's definitely air balls in there, but I think Swamp says good enough stuff consistently where he can show that difference. And I think in terms of performance, Clean could hit a little bit of a higher ceiling, but I just think Swamp is the easier guy to bet on right now. He's been battling higher comp at a higher level and been more consistent than Clean has. So I have Swamp 2-1 clear going into this battle. Cool battle. And from there, we can get into the second, new matchup that got announced. After this, it'll be 2 rebooks. But Shotgun Shug versus Kid Slade. Obviously, everyone is waiting to see how Slade counterwrites the angle about him in the paperwork, how Shug delivers the angle, if he overdoes it, underdoes it. There's a lot of things here with this Kid Slade battle that we're going to be watching on the edge of our seat. I think a lot of people are expecting Slade to get 30'd. I think it's kind of a layup for Shug, and I will say I have Shug 2-1 going in. I think if you have this angle, even though Shug isn't like a great angler by any means, but even just touching on this topic here, I think the crowd is just waiting to kind of like jump at it. Shug's obviously similar to Swamp, has a lot of momentum coming out of 2022. But the one thing I will say is that I really think Slade can win this battle. Past the paperwork and all the drama on his name, we forget the guy's been a good battle rapper. His real talk is exceptional. He has very good imagery. Now whether you say that's null and void or not, to each their own, but there's no question that that's what got him here. He punches very well. He has good stage control for someone that's pretty new to the game. So it would not shock me. Kid Slade could come with 3 amazing rounds, get a little bit of an expectation curve because people are expecting him to die, and you could see a Slade 2-1. Like I said, Shug being where he's at right now, the momentum he has, and this kind of advantage going in, I'm expecting him to win. If he doesn't, there might be a combo to be had there. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of a dialogue. But until I see it with my own eyes, I have to go with Shotgun Shug 2-1 going into the battle. So after those 2 initial matchups, solid matchups, may I add, we can get into the rebook battles here. One of the better ones, TTop versus Loso. A battle that I was looking forward to extremely on Volume 10, and I still think is going to be good now. 2 prominent anglers, TTop obviously having humongous historical angle prowess, while Loso is one of the best anglers of the new era, slowly climbing up that all-time ladder. Both of them known for their very precise attacks. I will say, Loso was coming off the ACL injury. He beat Tank on the one leg, but to have the surgery, had to sit out. Then you have TTop over here, who, in my opinion, had the worst year of his career you could debate in 2022, but did turn it up a little bit towards the end. I heard he just beat real name Brandon Clear on the outside card. He obviously beat Holmesy in the light work, albeit light work. I think Holmesy is a decent opponent, so I'm never, gonna turn my nose up at that. But I think all the pressure is on Loso here. T-Top is kind of entering this gatekeeper shot giving, even though I wouldn't say battling Loso at all is a gatekeeper shot. I think Loso is very well established, but T-Top obviously is kind of scaled it back. You can see the materials a little scaled back. The opponents, such as like taking an R&B, something of that nature, is just coming down. I think that he's still one of the best battle rappers in the world, but I don't know if the motivation's fully there. So you're seeing a T-Top that's solid, but beatable by people on a top tier level. And for Loso, a guy that I think is really ready for a hell schedule this year, I want to see Loso versus Tay Rock, Rum Nitty, K Shine, and we got T-Top. To get to those other battles we talked about, I think you need a clear win here. T-Top has been battling where he's still a top tier level name, but kind of been battling at a mid-tierish level rate. I can see a Loso clearing him, and I think if you want to climb the ladder and have a great year, get those big matchups, this is where you show out. You get a clear win over T-Top here. 2-1 or 3-0. Obviously, T-Top could beat him. He's more than capable. But for Loso, I'm really expecting. I think this is a big spot for you, and you need to take advantage of this moment. So, I like I said, respect to T-Top, but just with the trends they've been battling at and how much more I think this means to Loso than T-Top, I'm going to have to go with Loso 2-1 clear, if not 3-0. And the battle we're going to talk the least about on this card is Geechee Gotti versus Jay Mills. I didn't talk about it a lot when it was booked on Civil War 3. I don't really want to talk about it a lot now. Geechee, you should win 3-0. It's very possible Geechee comes like at 70% half motivated, and he still wins 30 in a battle we don't want to see. Jay Mills has got to show me that he can battle at a professional level. I'm not going to do the whole rag on him. We know Jay Mills' body of work since he came back, and it isn't very good. Could that change coming from RB to URL? Possibly. Maybe there will be a little bit of an expectation curve. Mills will have a cool round, but it's nothing that I've seen yet or nothing that I can bet on. So I have Geechee 3-0 in a battle that we didn't really need. And that leaves us with the last two battles on the card. Really big fan of the main event. Before we get there, there is a rematch, a trilogy in a way, of Charlie Clips versus Danny Myers. A battle I've been saying on Twitter. Don't really understand why it got booked. Somebody explained to me, they want to give Danny big shots, but since there's only really like Lux and Iron and guys who are really hard to get outside, to give him still big plates, you have to go into rematches like Clips. The first battle was on Black Ice Cartel 2016. Cool battle, like just a solid battle. Danny punching out. He had the Freemason bar that was really good. Clips with a little bit more comedy stage presence. It ended up being a preference debatable. A lot of people got Danny winning because he barred him out. People got Clips winning because he did better shit outside of bars. He did better in aspects outside of bars, the performance, the comedy, so on and so forth. Weird battle, though. I don't see the motivation. Not a matchup people asked for. But like I said, maybe if it's to keep Danny in the spotlight, Danny's deserved, to have big looks. So they're pulling a couple strings to keep giving Danny big looks. I'm not mad at it, but it's a lot of rematches. I think it's like his sixth rematch, and just to going from 2022 into now. And going into it, I think I'm gonna have Clips 2-1. The Atlanta stage versus Lou Castro, he bugged out. I didn't know how motivated he could be for Lou. And obviously in that situation, he's one of the performers of the night. Although it didn't age the craziest. Some bars didn't, but it's Clips. It's not always passing the paper test 100%. It's about what he does in that building. And I think Danny's been better on the stage. I think you get a good Danny. I think you just get another solid battle where Clips is just a little more polished up there, a little more consistent, landing more haymakers. I could see Danny getting into a multi-bag that really doesn't have much effect, but he's been doing that in some of his biggest battles. He beat Rock with pretty much a round of multis. So it's possible for Danny to win. Not a battle I'm too excited for overall. So I'm going to go Clips 2-1 edge going in, but wouldn't be surprised if this one's a bit of a downer. Just strange booking. But that leads into the main event. What a great battle this is. John Dodon versus Chef Trez, headlining an Atlanta card. For a second there, we didn't think it would go down. URL apparently jumped the gun before the contract was signed, but thank God they worked everything out because this is a true grudge match for the South. There is storyline here. It books itself. You get a fresh face in Chef Trez where he just hasn't been around in a minute versus top-tier names, and now you get him in a big spot that means a lot for his career. sensible return match for John without just. I like everything about this battle. I like everything about this battle. But in terms of stylistically who will win, that it might be the most hard to predict on the card for me. You would figure that Chef Trez kicks up the energy that he hasn't really had in his battles recently. There's more aggression. You get more of that JC chess type of Chef Trez that is landing haymakers, wrapping really quick. It's not just the rebuttals and whatever material you get through. I expect A1 fully clipped up Trez in this situation. Maybe even a little bit of angling. Go back to like spit that heat Trez. And on the flip side, John's returning. This is kind of the level of competition he's always done great against. The Jack Boys, the Mr. Wavies, the Chesses, big wins against these guys that don't have the most top-tier wins over top-tier opponents. But in a grudge like this in ATL, it's easy. It's easy to side with John's veteranship. But I do think this battle means a lot to Chef Trez, and people are waiting to see him have that breakout return performance. Although he beat Authentic, he beat None. People are waiting for that big time performance, and I think you get one of the better Chef Trez we've seen in a very long time. So I think it's going to be a very debatable battle. It's my battle of the night pick. I like it a lot on paper, but just off of motivation and kind of that anonymous, like what is he going to come with? I think I'm going to go with Chef Trez 2-1 edge. Could change it, but I have Chef Trez 2-1 edge going into this battle, and the battle I'm easily most excited for, the Redemption 2 card. And that is my full predictions for the Redemption 2 card in ATL. You guys let me know down in the comments, battle of the night pick, performance of the night, just what are you looking forward to in the Redemption 2 card? I heard some people, giving it some shit. And like I said, battles like Geechee and J Mills, some would say the Kitchen and Swamp could possibly be weird booking. I've heard random booking. Obviously, y'all know how I feel about the Clips and Danny rematch. But I've seen worse cards. I've seen worse guys that I feel like don't deserve opportunities. I can't say there's anyone on this card except maybe J Mills that doesn't really deserve to be on this card. And overall, it's just good work as we get early into the year. This is like any given Sunday where it's not known, it's not a little event, just a solid event. So I'm very much so looking forward to it. I don't know if we'll be watching it live, probably going right to the app, but if there is a way that it streams or something like that, obviously I'll be all over that. We'll all be all over that if it gets announced. But like I said, let me know in the comments below what you think of the card. What are the standout takes that you have from it? And I just can't wait to cover it. Tons of battle rap on the way, guys. Divide and Conquer is tomorrow. We'll definitely be watching that, having a recap, top 3 best performers, top 3 worst performers coming out to you guys. And then we have Chrome, tons of events coming in over the next few weeks, tons of different battle rap related stuff coming in. So it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.